How's it going, guys? Reedy here from Leicester Fan TV. I hope you're all doing well for this match review show. The Chelsea 1 versus Leicester 1. Hope everyone's doing okay. Get your comments and get your views in. We want to hear your thoughts on the game yesterday. I'm a bit croaky, a bit froggy, so hopefully you can deal with me today. Not much sleep after being back from the game very late last night. So hopefully you can deal with me. But yep, get your views in, get your comments in, and we'll get in straight after the intro. Let's get it.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, how are you all doing, guys? Appreciate you coming in for another Friday night show. And today is going to be the review show, obviously, for the Chelsea game. Amanda, appreciate you coming in. I'm not ill. It's just I'm trying to get back from being back at 2:30 in the morning and waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a very hard few hours sleep. So I'm still trying to wake up now. Did Phil not give you the day off work? I wasn't in today. So but I was still really up early. Evening really great result last night, and once again, when the pressure is off, we do play better. I've got different thoughts about that. I was very happy about parts of the game, and then I don't know what the word is. I'm not unhappy, but there was controversial moments in the game for me, and we'll talk through it. We all have different opinions, so get all your views in, and I'd happily see your views on compared to mine. Maz, appreciate you coming in, and my reflection. Big up, Reedy. How are you doing? Can you let me know your real name so I might know you in person? I'm not too sure. But okay, we'll get into it. First of all, obviously we drew 1-0 to Chelsea yesterday. Good result. Just a shame it really wasn't a big game for anyone out of the two teams, was it? We started off well. We got the game started really well, didn't we? Like you say, we got the goal in the first 6 minutes. Brilliant start. But the moment we made that goal happen, it didn't look the same at all going forward. We went through the middle getting that goal, and every time we got the ball after that goal, felt like we were being a bit more passive and playing around the wing side. Don't get me wrong, we still had chances, but we really didn't use the players we had on the pitch to the best interest, really. So Vardy, we didn't put the ball over the top enough for him. Yes, it's a tough Chelsea side. Yes, it's harder to do that because you're going to get countered either way, aren't you? So you can kind of look at that either way as well. But for me, there was controversial stuff in the game for me. Don't get me wrong, first half for me was brilliant. Obviously, when we were 1-0 up, we did well to keep it. And then obviously, again, Chelsea score from, to be honest, yes, it was a good shot. But for me, Casper should be getting to that. I said it at the game, Casper should be getting to his near post, and he got beaten at his near post. And for me, most keepers shouldn't be getting beaten there. Pauline, I fell asleep this afternoon. I know I'm not fell asleep yet, but I'm making sure I get a good night's sleep tonight because I've been drifting off all day today, and I'm trying to stay awake until tonight. Andy Rudiger should have had an early bath. Really? I'm not sure about that. I was in that corner, and I really don't think that was. I think Fofana was lucky to get the free kick. To be honest, I think Rudiger did win that ball. If that's what you're on about, I think Rudiger did win the ball when he went in fully on Fofana. I think Rudiger did win the ball, but we all loved how Fofana kind of used it as it was his. But yeah, Mick, a good result, but I wish we were more ambitious. Exactly, that's the main thing for me. we did well to start off the game. Yes, I'd say we got a bit fortunate with how it bounced straight to Maddison for his little run and shot. But then after that, we really didn't look like we were going to do much. And again, it's not being negative, but again, they're going to be a defensive team. We can't be an attacking team for us to lose the ball and they counter us and score. They did have a lot of chances last night. I think they had about 20 shots on target. No, it's not just 20 shots and about 8 on target. We only had 2 shots and 1 on target, and obviously that was the goal. So you've got to think the way we were playing didn't suit how the team was set up. We're playing with wing backs, we're playing far at the back, and every time we used them wing backs, but it was more of a swiveled cross into the strikers instead of it being cut inside, pass it into the middle, and then make the attack through the middle. We just never did that after the goal. And that was just one of the what was the words? One of the disappointments of the game, I guess. Again, result was brilliant. I think anyone would take a point away from Stamford Bridge anyway. Callum, how are you doing, mate? I appreciate you coming on. Is this season a failure to you if we finish 8th, and why? No, I said on the coach on the way yesterday that 8th would be a good finish for us compared to obviously we're having a semi-final loss. I think maybe if it was like a 12th position season, then no, I think it would be a failure. But an 8th place, 1 or 2 wins off probably getting Europe. If we win against Southampton, I think we're about 3 or 4 points away from West Ham, and that's saying something to say West Ham would say they had a good season because they did get into the semi-final as well, and they are in Europe still. So again, a Newcastle win away when we lost 2-1, or an Everton win instead of a draw last minute. Them sort of games really could have put us into that European spot. So really, 8th isn't that bad at all. My reflection says we sat back way too much. Did Vardy even touch the ball? Thomas needs to go on loan. We said that as well. Vardy really didn't have much going, and that's why for me we just didn't use the strengths. We didn't put the ball over the top against Watford. That's all we did. Evans got the ball and pinged it over the top. And yes, it's Watford compared to Chelsea. They're completely different defensive sides. Watford don't know how to defend. Chelsea know everything about defending. So again, you can't just do that. But there's more to it than just trying to flick a cross into someone and hoping someone gets a touch on it. Larry, nice touch from top. Coming over to the fans before the match. I think I saw that, yes. Some people have got a picture saying that I didn't see him before the game, but I know what you're on about. Gray, I think Casper is on his way out of the club. Again, that was one of my big talking points today, that Casper, again, just seemed very unsafe with the amount of balls and the amount of kicks he made. Like, he took forever on the ball when players were coming up to him, and it just looked a bit scary at times. Again, I don't want to be negative, but if we want to move forward with this team and progress, the way we're playing at the moment, playing from the back, passing from Kasper Schmeichel to Evans or Fofana, it doesn't look well because we keep panicking around the back for me a lot. For me, Danny Ward did a lot better when he was playing against Watford. Don't get me wrong, again, Watford isn't the best of teams to play against, but just boosting it up when it's necessary. For me, Casper didn't do that at all really yesterday. It was more just passing around the sides, these little chip flicks up into the wing backs that somehow just went off the pitch. It was a hard one to watch at times. Pauline says it was a late night. It was a very late night. It's 2:30 in the morning getting back. For me, getting into bed and waking up at 7 o'clock, it was just an awful morning. Lots of people saying, I think we missed Yuri yesterday. Other than Maddo's midfield, didn't really have a lot of penetration, which Yuri comes in. Their midfield pass around as well. Yeah, exactly. Every single person in this chat really today is saying about the things we didn't do right, and I think that is the case today. Again, 1-1 was a good result. It was Stamford Bridge, but there's certain things you would say if we did that better, we would have done it. And I think maybe, yeah, don't get me wrong, Yuri's not had the best of games recently, but putting Yuri in that sort of role instead of I can't remember who was in that position, but we just didn't play through the middle enough. It was all down the wings, and Chelsea did exactly that against us, and they were so free on the wing backs with Alonso and Reece James. It was just amazing how open they were. I'm really worried about Madders and Casper this window. We'll be definitely to lose them both. I wouldn't be devastated to lose Casper. I'm sorry, I am starting to lose faith in Casper just because of how we're wanting to transition from a non-possession side to a total possession side, and you want to have the ball all the time. And he's one of the people for me that keeps losing the ball when we have the ball in possession. And Maddis, I don't think he'll go for me. I really think he'll stay. He's one of the players that has showed the last few games when I've seen him celebrating goals and whatnot. You can see the passion he has for the club. It's just ridiculous. Great, no creativity exactly. Nacho did Jack. Yep, as usual. I think his first touch is absolutely woeful. But you don't really want to be playing Daka and Vardy up there together, do you? You want to be playing a strong man and a more of a fast-paced guy. Ahmed says, what happened about Awar, the Leon player? Looks very promising at the moment. We are very much linked with him, and hopefully can get him. Because if Yuri Tillemans goes, I think he'll be a perfect replacement for me. He looks brilliant. Brighton is another game we should have won. That was at the start of the season, was when we lost 2-1, and we scored 2 goals from corners exactly. Andy said we played better since we have not been playing in Europe. I guess, yeah, the results have been better. The performances have been better. It's just like I say, it's just little points that you would say you need to improve in these areas, need to improve there, need to improve here. Someone says put Yuri in against Chelsea yesterday. That there's a lot of people saying that they didn't want Yuri in. They actually wanted him drop, and they got it. And it's just another one that people wanted. Sumari and Ricardo are 2 great players that aren't being utilised at all. It's frustrating. Exactly. I don't know too much about Sumari because he's not been playing much, but Ricardo, it's just a different class to the likes of Luke Thomas and I won't say James Justin. He's brilliant, but again, Luke Thomas, I think he does need a year out on loan just to get a bit more quality in him, and like just shows that GBO did it and it worked for him. Really, the table lies. We should be lower on expected points. We keep playing like this next year, we'll be lower. I don't think we will. You've got to think for the whole season. You've had injuries pretty much the whole season. Yes, we're coming back to it for a bit more fully now, which is good. You've had Europe. We've had a lot more competitions to play more in. I think we've played near enough 60 games this season instead of 38 in the Premier League, which we will have next season, plus a few, obviously, cup games if we do go to the last stages than that. But I'm more confident on next season's games than they are this season, just because it's more trial and error for me than this game and last game on Sunday. It's just a trial and error for getting ready for pre-season next season. Casper goes, who will be captain? That's the trouble. People are saying Dewsbury Hall. I don't think he's ready yet. Don't get me wrong, he's a brilliant player, but you need that player who's quality already. And for me, you'd probably maybe give it to Ndidi, to be honest. People aren't thinking about Ndidi because he's injured at the moment. He's going to be back fit into the next season. If he stays, I'd give it to him. He's that big boy in the midfield. You want him to know what he's doing. He might not be that sort of player for you, but he's probably one of the only players that you know is going to stay and he's committed to the club. Joe says, "Really, a point is good at Chelsea." It is. I'm not going to deny that. It's just little bits that you'd say you'd want to change in yesterday's game. It could have won it because of that. It didn't win it. Many Leicester fans wouldn't keep a Marty, but I would. He's had another decent game. I will not let that be heard from Neil, who's in the chat as well. That is a pretty bold statement to him. I like Marty, but I know one person who just hates Marty for some reason. Don't get me wrong, he's not been the best of players this season after the last few after over the whole season, but he's still done a decent job while Evans and Fofana was out. We already have a replacement for Casper, but not Maddison. I'm guessing you're talking about Iverson. For me, you give him a chance because he's player of the season for Preston. You want it, you give him a chance at Leicester. And then Madders, I won't even care about Madders because he's not. For me, he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. Nick says Perez will be off in the summer, possibly Nacho as well as Yuri. I think all three of them will be going for me. I don't think we'll miss many of them, to be honest. And all that money from all them three players that you're talking about could bring in some absolutely smashing players. Neil, as we just spoke about, appreciate you coming in for another weekend, another Friday night show. Sorry, Hamza is apparently injured. Why hasn't he been picked? Not sure, to be honest. Hassan Ali says, Reedy, the name of the players who you think will sign in the summer and B's be realistic. So we've been linked with Madueke. I don't see us getting him. Don't get me wrong, it'd be brilliant to get him, but I just don't think it'll be possible. PSV are probably going to be in Europa League again next season. He'll want to play in Europe, so I don't think we'll get him. Lookman, obviously, we have at the moment on loan, £14 million. I'd snap the hands off for even £20 million. He's been one of our better players this season. Some will agree, some will not agree, but for me, he's probably one of our better players this season. If we achieved, I will keep going with that because I completely forgot. Our possible. I really would like to see our at Leicester. If Yuri Tillemans does go, he's kind of the replacement for him. And then I think, like say, there's been links with Bremer from Torino, probably a swap deal with Pratt to Torino for their centre back in Bremer. But we'll move on from there. If we achieved 8th place in Liverpool won Champions League, would we go to? No, I don't think so. I think if it was true, we would have heard a lot more about it, and we would have been really down to get this 8th spot position for definite if we did know this was a thing. But I don't think it is this season. I'm not too sure, but we would hear about this a lot more if it was the case. Johnny will probably be captain. I don't think he's. I honestly do not think he's not. He's not good. He's not good enough. I'm saying that he's not. He's too injury prone. You don't want a captain to keep coming in and out of the team. You want somebody who's going to be in that team literally week in, week out, and know his position, and he won't get injured. And for me, Evans is going to be not that player. He's going to be off the pitch half the time in next season. Forest fan got instant jail sentence for attacking Billy Sharp. What's the difference? Oh yes, Black Matter. I am not going to comment on that just in case, but obviously we've heard about the jail time for the player, but for the fans. But yeah, we need technically gifted players exactly, and that's not going to come cheap. And that's where someone like Neil says you've got to let a lot of players go who are just, I won't say deadwood, but a lot of players that we really just need to start shoving out the club. Perez, I really thought was going to be something when we first signed him, but he's not fitted in really, has he? He's done well at times, but he's just not fitted in because he's not been playing in the right positions at all, really, in the last few seasons. Gray Rogers reckons we can attract players even though we aren't in Europe. Again, it's all about money. We can do it, but we've got to be consistent with it now, and we've got to go big because next season for me is going to be the big one. Yes, we're not in Europe, but we've got to be challenging for that top 6 at least, maybe even top 4. But we've got to be doing it next season. Otherwise, we are going to be going in a downward spiral back into a mid-table side, which obviously none of us wants to see, do we? Mbappe won't be coming to PSG. Have offered 1 million a week. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's go then. If we choose midfielder and Yuri goes, then Maddison will be captain for me. He could be. Indeed, he isn't visibly passionate. And Evans aside, I can't cope. Can't come up with anyone else. Maybe Vardy, but it'll probably be a part-timer. Again, that'll be probably for me as well for Evans. So you maybe would give it to Maddison, but I don't know if he's that sort of vocal player for me. Yes, he has the passion, but he's not that vocal. Ali, would you take Karkowski? Yes, but the problem is with the English tax that you'd all say about, it'll probably be about 50 mil, and I just don't think it's worth paying a centre back for that much when we need to be buying players in that. We need for our squad going forward. Do you know what the kit's on next season? I do not. There's rumours, everything's rumour-wise, but I do not know the actual kit. You might know Sunday. You never know. But we will get back into the Chelsea game in a minute because I just want to get all your views in as well. Larry says Vardy will be captain despite not playing all game season. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Was it me or did I just watch 84 minutes of Chelsea last night? You mean that Chelsea were all over us or what? Please confirm because I'm not too sure what you're talking about there. Great. We need to increase the wages, but won't. It's all about that now. We've got to make sure we get the people we need in, even though we aren't in Europe. Do we get a free beer and cake Sunday? People in the chat, let us know. I'm not too sure. Any news on the Vardy contract renewal? Probably the end of the season now. So after Sunday's game, there'll be talks about that. Need a keeper, 2 centre backs, and a striker. We need more than that. We need a winger. We need a centre mid. We need a lot of players to come in that will just change the side and be a bit more aggressive with every position instead of being sloppy players in sloppy positions. Georgie, we got John Moss on the final game of the season, and no shock there. It'll be his last game of retirement, wasn't it? So hopefully it'll be a good game. The rebuild is a PR stunt. We won't have the money to rebuild. I think we will. Yuri Tillemans, 50 million. Casper, 30 million. Perez, 15, 20 million. You never know, Sunchu maybe. And then we've got the £100 million, hopefully, on top of that. So really, there's at least probably 200 million you could really count for with player sales and all that. So you never know. Given the captaincy to Madison, will give him more responsibility. I know, but I just don't think he's that vocal for me. He really isn't that vocal. Our captain needs to be vocal. Jordan Henderson is a good example. Again, I just don't think that's Madison. What do you think the starting 11 is for Sunday? And that's where we'll probably get into right at the end of the show. So give me about another 5 minutes. And I will be talking about that, Joe, because we want to get into a bit more of the Chelsea game before we do finish this, because it is the review. Sorry, Tarkos is available this free summer. Okay, if he's free, bring him on board. I just don't know if he'll be able to get him. Give the armbands to Tillemans for this final game, and would be nice to send us to him. You're probably right to be saying. You probably would be right. Yes, Chelsea were all over us for 84 minutes. Exactly. That's my one downfall. Yes, we scored. I think we were very lucky to score. But again, everything else, it just didn't look right. And then, of course, Neil says £2 for a Marty. Of course he does. So we'll go back to the Chelsea game very quickly before we do go into Sunday's game. There was a few substitutions that really didn't go right for me. We brought Vardy off. And we brought Kelechi off for Barnes and Perez. Where did the strikers go? What are we even doing? There's no strikers on the pitch. We've got wingers on the pitch. If you wanted to score, put more strikers or more midfielders on the pitch. Don't put 2 wingers who barely have done much in the last season. To me, that's probably my biggest downfall from yesterday. Again, we'll say a point against Chelsea was absolutely brilliant to come away with. It was, but there's just little bits you've got to go forward and say, why has he done that? Why has he done that? Casper as captain does nothing, to be honest. He never gives G's at the players. See, someone like Jordan Pickford, he does that. Don't get me wrong, I don't want him, but Reedy, have you renewed your season on card on mobile? I have renewed it, I think, but I'm not going to do it on card. I'm not doing it on my phone. Rogers wanted to protect the draw. I don't know. After being drawing at 36 minutes. Really? I don't understand that if you're saying that like that. Why would you protect the draw when have at least one striker? Bring Daka on and have Barnes and Perez as the wingers. It really didn't look right. 10 million for Lookman, yes or no? Yes, but he's not going to go for that. He's going to go for at least 14 to 20 million. I'll still take him for that. He's brilliant. He's probably one of the better players this season. And then Nick Pope has to be the keeper if you go for it. Yeah, you would. But again, you've got to think tax, English tax. Yes, they're going down probably, but Oh no, they probably won't. But either way, you still got to go for someone like that if you are letting Casper go, and he probably will cost about 40, 50 million, and that's a big ask. And that's how he thinks, Rogers. I know what you mean. I know he wants to defend games out, but you just got to think, why bring both strikers off just for some wingers up front where it just wouldn't work? And at times they just lost the ball. It just really didn't take. It just really didn't look right. And then Joe says, "Really, would you take Dean Henderson?" I would. Another player that I really think I would take him. He did well at Sheffield United. Didn't get the chance at United, so why not give him the chance in Leicester? If that's the case, did you not think the performance yesterday was poor? We should have lost, got lucky. Yeah, I don't want to be very negative, but I think you're right. I think more lucky with our goal. Very lucky bounce to Madison. Took the shot well. Can't complain about that again, but really, after that, they were all over us and we just didn't look like we wanted to fight for it. And it was just a decent point to take away. We spoke about Tarkowski, I think it's Adrian Branley. But yeah, I'd take him if he's free. The negative play has cost us dearly this season. It has. And that's where you've got to bring next season in. The Forest game next season will be better than Palace Brighton. It will be. It will be a definite better game. But we'll go back to Joe's question just before we end the show. What would my team sheet be for tomorrow for Sunday? I will go for Ward in goal. Casper's going to be in there. We all know he's going to be in there, but I'd rather see Ward in goal. I play Evans and Fafana at the back. I play Justin left, Pereira right. And then in midfield, I'd probably go Mendy, Dewsbury or Madison. And then up top, I'd go Barnes, Lookman, and Vardy. I'm not a big fan of the two up front. I'd rather have wingers and have a bit of width to the team. Would you take Kepa? No. I would not go anywhere near that bottle job. I'm sorry to say, but he was the biggest waste of money Chelsea have ever made on him. Unless you talk about drink water, but wow. Even if he's on a free transfer, I would not let him go anywhere near my goal. Casper's better than him, and again, Neil probably would agree with you. Maybe Albrighton instead of Barnes. Barnes really hadn't had the best of the season, or maybe put Lookman on the left and Barnes on the right. He did well against Watford, so why not put him in there? Yeah, the £75 million flop. He absolutely was. And that's where we're going to end the show. Appreciate you all coming in. That has been the match preview. We've spoke about all your comments. Spoke about the game a lot. Sorry, it was a bit negative, but again, there's a lot of people in this chat today saying that it wasn't the best of games, and I don't think it was either. Good point to take from Chelsea, though. Moving into Southampton on Sunday, the last game of the season. I hope everyone enjoys, and we'll catch you all next time. Peace.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.